Hello guys, welcome to CEO Sister Talk. We are back for another installment tonight. It is already Tuesday, 7 p.m. Hello all as you are coming on. Make sure I got all my stuffy right here. Hello. There we go. There's Clarissa. I am Rebecca Lynn Pope, part of the dynamic duo, co-host of CEO Sister Talk. Hey, Lakeisha. Hi, sweetheart. There is Clarissa. Hello.
Hi. Hello, darling. Let me get myself together over here. Get this camera that wants to fall all over the place.
This happens. Hello, Meg, Callie, Dreamin', Gina, Momina. Hi, sweetheart. I saw some other people saying hi back up there. Hello, hello. Welcome. Getting my water done for the day, sitting here sipping. Dark cocoa coils, welcome. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, happy Tuesday.
Hello, guys, welcome. All right, Clarissa, you done got some braids?
We are rocking some faux locks because we're trying to get our workout schedule so we can, keep it going. So yes.
Okay, I see you.
Wet and wavy, okay.
Listen, I just lit out. Okay, so 100% transparency.
Yes.
So I woke up super early this morning and then was so tired, I went back to bed this morning, got back up, then still laid back down this afternoon and took a nap and set the alarm to get up just in time to do CEO Sister Talk tonight. So I hopped in the shower right after I got off my nap. And here I is. It was just wet.
Right.
And
wild. Ready.
Yes. Ready. But I got my nap. I was so tired. I could not believe how tired I was.
It's just Tuesday.
Hey, it's a Tuesday. I think. Thank you. Oh, look, all the comments are still coming in. Hey guys, welcome in. Welcome. All right, guys. So welcome to CEO Sister Talk. We are here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, to join myself, Rebecca Lynn Pope, and my co-host, Clarissa Wright Thomas.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Tuesday. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Yes. Hi,
okay. So tonight's topic is, where did I write it down? I put it at the top. What is it, Clarissa?
It is the different faces of success.
Different faces of success. I put the title on our YouTube cover as, where'd it go? I just had it. How do you define success for your business?
Yes.
How do you define success for a business? What does success look like for a business? I think that.
Yes.
What? Let me go make sure Clarissa, hold on one second. I was in here. Let me just make sure I put the right title on something. Because I was in here getting prepared.
Yes.
So that when we go to load them up, what defines a successful business? That was our official title. What defines a successful business? All right, guys. So welcome in. So Clarissa, any initial thoughts as we come into this topic tonight?
Absolutely. So I know that we've been on here week after week after week, and we've been drilling do's and don'ts, best practices, how to do this, how to keep a customer, all that good stuff. But there's a totally different side to entrepreneurship, and that is that success looks different for everyone. I've learned over my years in entrepreneurship, when I'm saying, oh, I need to make $5 million this year, some people are like, it's not even fathomable, or they're not even aiming for that. So to me, what I think is successful is revenue generation and satisfied customers. And some people are like, no, I just want to give back. I just want to get my grandmother's recipe out here and just keep it going. So there are many different faces to success, and we'll discuss some of those tonight. And maybe you guys will show us some different faces of success.
Some of your own personal definitions of how you define success in your business.
Yeah.
I know for me early on, because I think that in the different development stages of business, guys. Your business can mean different things to you. It can represent different things in different stages of your life. I know as a mother, early on, I did not want to be in the corporate trap anymore. I wanted to have flexibility. I wanted to work from home. One of my biggest goals was just working from home, to have more work-life balance, to be a more present wife and mother. I hated traffic. You know, I hated the rat race stress of the day-to-day clocking in, you know, dancing to the beat of someone else's drum. I wanted to have control over my timetable, my days, the flow of my days. And that was really one of, when I was younger, of course, wanting to make a lot of money, but I just remember being in my mid 20s, late 20s, really wanting to just opt out of the rat race. I was in corporate America. I had scaled the corporate ladder, and I had a lot of pressure, a lot of performance. You know, you got to produce, kind of constant pressure to produce. And I just wanted freedom. Success for me meant freedom.
You know what? And early on, like you said, there are different phases to what is considered successful for businesses, because most of us in the beginning, we're going for something. I would feel successful as a business person if it buys me enough time to be back at home with my family. I think that business is successful if I sell 500 shirts. But you think about it, over time, it has to change. Because if you are an apparel company owner, you sell 1,000 shirts your first month and you're like, oh my God, oh, I sold 1,000 shirts. Is your goal always going to be 1,000? But that was success for month one, because I didn't know these people. This was my first month turning on all of these lights and all this. That was successful. Success changes over time. I know for myself personally, same. I was sick of asking for permission. I wasn't even asking for permission. I was like indignantly telling people that I wasn't going to be at work. I'm not going to be here today. I have something else to do. And for myself, the entrepreneurship provided an avenue of freedom for me in an unhappy corporate situation. So to me, successful entrepreneurship in the beginning was, as long as it helped me to pay my mortgage and my car note, that felt like success to me, because I was able to be home. I paid these little bills and I am good. It has changed since, but there are different phases to success.
Yeah. So for me, one of the things, as we talked about this topic, and we talked about it earlier, Clarissa, in the day, I thought about how I'm more of a spiritual CEO.
Yeah.
My businesses incorporate spiritual principles, spiritual knowledge, teach spiritual something on some level. I certify spiritual life coaches. I create spirit-based courses and content. I publish books that definitely center around spiritual well-being, mind, body, and spirit. And so as I thought about that, I thought to myself, success for me means reaching all of the people that God has assigned to me. That's part of what success looks like to me. And I know for me, because I drilled down into that pretty early on, in my mid-20s, I would say, I began to get very clear around the fact that I didn't want to just make a lot of money. I went after making money, made money, and still wasn't happy. And it was like, well, this isn't it. I thought it was just going to be, oh, make a lot of money. You can help people. You can give back. You can. But it wasn't enough for me. What I was doing day to day wasn't making a big enough difference in the world and in people's lives and helping people to heal and thrive. And anything that is not directly related to making a difference in the quality of people's lives, I'm going to lose interest pretty quickly. Like it'll wax and wane, right? Like if I'm getting up and the day-to-day things that I'm doing are not directly related to making a difference in people thriving, I'm going to be like, okay, that was fun.
The enchantment has left the building for that.
Exactly, Chris. And I drilled down into that level of understanding for myself, like I say, quite a while ago. And it guided me to using more of my gifts, showing up in more of my strengths and my gifts, one of the things I identified for myself is that the more I used my gifts and the more I did what I love or felt the way I wanted to feel, the more fulfilled I was, right? So in other words, the more I show up authentically as
Yep.
me in my capacity of owning my businesses or whatever business it is, I'm more fulfilled and I'm happy and I feel successful.
So just look at that there. We've already talked about a couple just indirectly. Some people's success is defined by how much of a reward they feel when they go to bed at night. Even as a person who may have started out with revenue generation being the top thing, things when you realize that happiness is not really always tied to money all the time, your purpose and your vision for your company may even change. So for me, like, of course, in the beginning, it's like, oh, I want to have free time. And then it moved to, oh, I want to have a different house. I want to buy all this. I want my son to go to college without any worries. I want to have $1,000 rainy day fund and all this and that. But now for me, in this season of my business, we're 17 years in. And for me, while revenue generation is still something that I'm always thinking about, customer satisfaction is like running very, very high for me on what successful business looks like. Mm-hmm. You know, there are companies that make money, but the customers are not satisfied, or they don't have a long track record of customer retention and things like that. So for me, I know that in different stages, even seasonally, sometimes for me, it'll feel different. Like you said, give back. If I'm not taking on a pro bono, there are some people who cannot afford my services, but I will still work full throttle for a person who I believe in what their passion is, because they believe in themselves so much. For me, some of the spaces of success for business is giving back to other people. Why give all my talents to myself or keep them just for people that can afford it? There are so many different ways that we can. Success is not always just what we did today either.
Oh, that's
success
a really good point. That's a really good point, Clarissa. I would say that I definitely also define myself by my capacity to give without looking for a return. Mm-hmm. That's incorporated into my business models. Yeah. That over the years, I've always sown back in to people, mm-hmm. the community. I give back. I give away a certain number of courses. I just give it away, right? I help people without charging for things. And to me, I think that's a different level of wealth and success. When you are in a place where you are able to give without worrying about mm-hmm. your bills or it mm-hmm. affecting you, I think this has got to definitely be a level of goals for any type of faith-based or spirit-based person who wants to make a difference in the world through no matter what they're doing. Being able to help without constant, there's principles around that too, right? There's spiritual principles that you give what you want to receive. So if you want to receive generosity, you want to receive grace, sow generosity, sow grace, sow charity, sow compassion, sow understanding, right? Because you will receive it back. But yeah, that's a very, very real aspect, I think, of where I've been at and being able to, in the years I've had, the coolest what I'm thinking about is those struggle years. Yeah. I'm thinking back on those years, guys, when I didn't know how I was going to make ends meet. And I'm thinking about how tight money was. And I'm worrying about losing my house. And I'm worried, I got to hide the car because if the car is going to get repossessed. And I mean, I'm just keeping it 100, right? And you think about those really lean, hard times when finances were not there yet, and you fast forward and it's like, wow, right? Like, to be at a place where you can help people and sow people and you're not worried about money, I think I definitely define success around that.
Yeah, we just had a really great comment. Mercedes Johnson said, I feel like it's another level of success when you've not necessarily hit your goals, but you're willing to give back because you know God will provide. And the reason, again, we wanted to have a talk tonight that was not, this is a softer tone. As you can tell, we are a little bit more, serene with our delivery tonight, because some of it's hard hitting, like, get your goals, come on, get out here. But some of this is like, at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is not, it shouldn't just be all about yourself. So yes, Mercedes, sometimes it's just like, just think about it. If you are trying to achieve any goal, I'll use myself as an example. If you're trying to embark on a fitness journey or you're on a wellness journey and you say, oh my gosh, I haven't lost a pound in 2 weeks, but your clothes are fitting differently, what do they always say? Well, it's a non-scale win. It's a win, but it's just not. So these wins don't always look like money. They don't always look like glitz and glamour. They don't always look like huge, like bells and whistles. Sometimes they are literally because there's a reward that you can't see. So the tone of tonight is to remind everyone that the foundation of success and the foundation of everything that you do should be rooted in some sort of kindness, or the things that make you feel good outside of money, because even you'll find billionaires that'll tell you money does not buy happiness. So there are other ways to define your success as a person, as a business owner, as a partner, and all those things.
I'll also say from experience that there are levels to money, guys. I think what goes on in a lot of our society today, in our culture, is people just pull these numbers out of their asses.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's like, oh, you know, I'm making $300,000 a day. I'm making, you know, my goal is to make $10 million a year. Well, have you made $400,000 a year? Yeah. Right. Do you know what real money feels like and looks like for you? Because the thing is, this is for me personally. I encourage all of you to learn this for yourself as you keep growing in your business. I learned something about myself, Clarissa, in money, that anything beyond $400,000 a year net, not gross, guys, net, where you're clearing that level of money, okay, after taxes and everything, there's not a whole lot more money beyond that point that necessarily changes my life on a really large level. Like if I run the numbers on that, I just know what that number feels like, because I know when I hit it and I know when I went beyond it, and it was like, yeah, you know, at this level for me personally, right? I'm not going to buy Lamborghinis. Yeah. I'm not buying a Rolls Royce, guys, right? Like at a certain point, you've got to decide what is your level of happiness, right? What is your level of lifestyle that you are content and happy, and the rest of the money's going into investments, building more wealth in investments in the bank, you know, invested in real estate, whatever it is you want to do. But if I run the numbers on 400,000 divided by 12, it's about $33,333 a month. I'm saying clearing, right? Yeah. For me, guys, when I'm clearing $30,000 to $40,000 a month, I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. Right? Like, I'm just going to keep it 100. People who are just like, oh, I want to make billions and I want to make trillions and I'm like, that's a lot of work. Have at it, buddy. Yeah. Right? Good for you. I bless everyone's, you know, endeavors and goals. But guys, there's a cost. Yeah. Everything. There's a cost. I love waking up some days and not working. I love working 10 hours some days and playing with my puppies and spending time with my husband. And, you know, so yeah, you know, I've gone on to make more, but I'm just saying in my mind, I know that anything beyond this is gravy for me. Yeah. 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 Really quick. Okay. So Tara N just dropped, Tara N XOXOXO. It's so important to know yourself and have the ability to define success for yourself and not based on everyone else or society. That is so true. We talked about this last week or the week before, where social media or just comparing yourself to other people is like just an enemy. It's something that you shouldn't do. Everybody's success looks different. Everybody's journey to success looks different. So yes, you have to define for yourself. When you are like, okay, Rebecca, I know this about you. I hope you don't mind me saying it. I hope your family doesn't mind me saying it. But success, like for me, you have a son in college. You've got children who've gone through college already. For me, success with your sons not paying for, nobody has a student loan.
That is successful to some people. My kids don't have to get student loans. That is literally like a successful milestone. You can say that. Can you hear me? Am I in or out? Let's see. Say something. Guys, let us know if you can hear us or who's out, who's in. Let me go out and come. Okay, so you can hear Clarissa. Can you hear Rebecca? Can't hear Rebecca.
There, you're back. You're back. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So yes. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Clarissa, oh my God, you hit the nail on the head. You're right. It's like being able to pay for college, right? Paying cash for college. Can they still not hear me, Clarissa?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me. Being able to pay cash for college. Yes, that's huge. You know, living debt free.
Yes.
That's another one. Why am I saying that $30,000 to $50,000 a month, guys? I'm like, I'm chilling, right? I don't have any debt. I pay off my credit cards every month. I only charge what I can pay off. I'm not living in debt. I'm not in debt up to my eyeballs. I don't have a lot of commitments or overhead. I'm really lean and light, not stressed, right? Like that's for me. When I was younger and I had my first construction supply company, guys, Clarissa, I went and got a big old house on the golf course. Went and got a brand new car, ran it up. When I say I ran up the tab, Clarissa, because I got a little bit of money and I thought I was rich, honey. Like when I say rich, I'm like 30, making millions of dollars come through the bank, right? And Clarissa, I'll never forget, the economy shifted and things took a dive. And all of a sudden, I didn't have that level of money coming in anymore. And I'm sitting here with bills stacked to the ceiling. And I don't know what I'm going to do for me and my sons. Like, what have I done? What have I gotten myself into? And there's some lessons, guys, that stick with you for the rest of your life. At 30 years old, I learned to live below my means, period. I didn't like the stress. I couldn't sleep at night, afraid I'm going to lose this house. What about my kids? They're in school. I ain't going to be able to afford to keep them in the school district. I mean, a whole real thing. And I was like, never again.
And there's a big difference, like you said, for someone. Okay, just look at us. I know you have friends that are not entrepreneurs that think you're crazy. I have friends that are not entrepreneurs that think I am completely off my rocker for being an entrepreneur. Oh, I don't know how you deal with that stress. I don't know how you do this and that. But for me, my idea of success is running my own business on my own terms, doing my own thing. So I may not have $1 trillion all the time, but I promise you my time is mine and my time is how I want it to be all the time. So I'm thinking,
and we're still young. We're scaling up.
Yep. But just look at the difference in quality of life between somebody, like you said, $50,000 a month is great. You are good. It's a good life. But the people who are striving for $1 billion, their quality of life at home is vastly different. It is vastly different. And their day-to-day life is very different. It doesn't look like much quality time at home. It doesn't look like much time tucking in the kids. It doesn't look like much date night with your spouse and things like that. So you have to also be conscious of when you define success, what that really means. Because also, just think about it. All of us want to be a billionaire, period. Like, we all want $1 billion in the bank, fine. But if the trade-off is you being lonely at the end of the day, was it really success? Because if you're not careful about what you're defining success, you'll feel like a failure repeatedly, even though you've reached all these wonderful milestones. It's like, I actually don't need $1 billion to feel successful. My family is good, bills are paid, children are off to college, everything's going well. So your definition of success, you should check it frequently too, because it could change. It could.
And if you've been comparing yourself or using cultural standards, society standards to create so much pressure on yourself. And I'll share this. My youngest son, he's a sophomore in college. He just turned 20. And right at the end of high school, he had started a business, an apparel line. And he started spiraling, guys. Social media and the pressures of social media. He's 18, 17, 18. He felt like a failure. He felt like he should already be a millionaire. I'm talking about a 17, 18-year-old, very healthy, very intelligent young man.
Right.
He got caught up in the social media pressures. And I mean, we had to get him help. We had to get him off of social media. We had to completely detox from social media. Somehow he got into some vicious cycle where he's following people 16 and 15 who are already millionaires and who are rappers and people who are already, you know, and I'm like, baby, listen, this is not reality, even if that is real for them. And that's the truth. And it's not lies. It's not smoke and mirrors. Okay, they are the exception to the rule. They are 0.01% of the population who found success so young and so early like that in doing something. Real business, typical traditional business, is you're going to have to work your butt off for many years to scale up and build to a point where you have that level of revenue and that level of income. That is what traditional, real business development looks like. This stuff out here in these social media streets, y'all, a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of people trying to look the parts, trying to lease the parts, trying to rent the parts, trying to flash the parts so that they can try to impress you to make you feel, you know, like they're successful in order to give them more of your money and invest more or buy their products or services. But there's a lot of people hand to mouth who are broke in a Bentley. A lot of people. And I don't want that to be anybody that is under our mentorship or following CEO Sister Society.
Right, absolutely not. And just look at it. And this is something that visually we've all seen. You see the people who are rich, who tell you they're rich. They tell you what they drive and they're showing you what they're driving all the time. And then you see the picture of Mark Zuckerberg with the same t-shirt on, or the Bill Gates with his khakis and regular sweater. And it's like people with big money, people with big money, they're not flossing it like that. They're just not. I'm not saying that they don't look nice, because sometimes you can look at a t-shirt and tell that it's a real good quality plain white t-shirt. Tell.
It's a $500 t-shirt.
Right.
Right.
But it's like it's not just about looks. It's not just about material things. There's so many things that are success defining that do not even have a look. It's a feel. You know what? There was a woman that I worked very closely with her husband, and they were loaded, but you couldn't tell by looking at him. But you could tell by looking at her, not because she was trying to do all this designer, that. She just looked like money. When she came into the room, she looked like money every time. And it's like, honey, she didn't have any labels on, but she looked like money. You know, her skincare is on point. You know, she's going to the best this, the best that. She works out, she eats well. And it's like, you don't even have to be rich really to look like, to even be successful sometimes. So again, y'all, check what you think success is. Success is not just rich. Success is health is wealth. Success is having your stress levels at a normal place. It is having children that are happy, grandchildren, husbands, family members that love being around you. So y'all, success is a vibe, but it's not all about money vibes.
Yeah, I was going to say also, Clarissa, that, you know, we've entered into a time in history where everything is so overshared and overexposed, and you know, everyone's fighting to outdo each other, you know.
Right.
And guys, I think that there's no Shay the MUA said teeth will tell you too. Teeth.
Oh, honey.
Listen.
Yes.
I think that we are at a time, especially, where you're going to have to be able to monitor your own mental health when it comes to this, guys. You're going to have to stay on top of your own psychology when it comes to this, that you've got to set your own goals for your own life. I created a vision for my life a long time ago of what happiness looked like for me. And it's remained pretty true to that, Clarissa. What I do has changed day to day, but as far as my life with my puppies and my husband and being around the people I love the most and having an ease and flow to my
Yeah.
days and making money in my sleep, making money effortlessly and getting to that place of more passive income and doing that, that has just flowed. But I set my intentions for that like a really long time ago. But here's another point. What if you get to where you want to be and that's been your definition of success, and what if you hate it?
Ooh. Well, you know what? I think Whitney, if somebody in the comments said nothing like making your goals and being miserable.
Because I'm going to say to all of you, I have coached my coaches, my life coaches that I certify and train, that they need to be stacking their money.
Yeah.
I said it again and again and again. Stack your money. Do not start going and spending all the money as you start making it and creating expenses that meet this new income you're making in your coaching business. Why? Because God wants you to be stable. He wants you to be able to pivot. He wants you to be flexible. That's right. Stack it up, Whitney. Because guess what, guys? If all of a sudden you don't like something, or you don't like a situation, or you don't like the opportunity that led to you opening the doors to getting all this money, you need to be sitting on money. In order for you to have the financial security and stability to pivot, when God says pivot, pivot when peace says pivot, pivot when you just saying, I don't like this no more, I'm going to try something different, right? Please stack your money.
Mm-hmm.
Saving money never goes out of style. I tell my kids constantly, you can't afford to be broke. My 20-year-old, my 23-year-old, they are always sitting on thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
As young men, my youngest in high school, when he went to college, he had $5,000 of his own money he had saved before he went to college. I've taught my sons, never be broke.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can afford to get nice things, but save your money.
Here's the danger of spending all of your money the second you get it, because you do feel successful when you get into business and you start getting big checks. Like I have a few checks that are like historically stamped like on my walls because they were, oh, the first time I got a check from a big organization and things like that. But let me tell you the danger of getting comfortable at your new money without saving any money. You end up having to take on more of what you don't like. If you are in a business and you decide that you hate the business model, or you don't like the clientele, or you hate the product offering, if you didn't save any money, you have to keep operating with the stuff you hate to stack the money to get out of it. So now you're in this vicious cycle of, man, I don't like working with these type of clients, or man, I wish I had designed this program differently. It's operating, so it is bringing in money, so I can't even afford to walk away from it, even though it's something I created. So you definitely have to build protocols for pivots in your business.
I'm going to also encourage you to define success as not just owning one business or not just owning one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Diversify your portfolio.
Yeah.
Invest in real estate. I'm invested in cryptocurrency, right? Invest in different things. Take your money and make your money work for you guys. There's so many different things that you can do with money that you can begin to get a return on your investment that's not directly connected to your existing business. This is how I ended up starting multiple businesses, because I think having multiple streams of business is also very, very wise.
Yeah.
Especially in these economies where things shift, recessions, changing, things are constantly happening. Guess what? Start creating. Clarissa does courses now. She's been in PR for almost 20 years, but now she's actually doing PR courses.
Yeah.
If something were to happen, she could sit and do PR and sell PR courses. She could pivot, even if there weren't any red carpets and there was another COVID, another quarantine, she could sit and teach classes and courses and make virtual income until things pick back up.
Yep.
We have to be thinking outside the box, right? About my mind a lot is on legacy. Clarissa, legacy. What am I leaving behind? What if I died today?
Yeah.
What is going to be my mark? What have I done? What is left for my children? What do they have? Right? My mind is constantly on my legacy, my children, my grandchildren. I have a personal goal. This is another way I define success. One of my personal goals, Clarissa, is I want all of my grandchildren to have enough money inherited from their grandmother that they have the deposits for their first house.
That's right.
So where
That's right.
they never have to worry. That very first home they buy, there's enough money from grandma that there's always, the trust is set up that this money is always there for all of my children and grandchildren.
Legacy is such a wonderful thing to apply when you're thinking about your business too. Like I use the word frequently. I'm always saying that. I'm always saying, what impact did it make? Did it reverberate through generations? There are a lot of us out here trying to break generational curses. Some of us are the first person in our families to take these types of leaps and to wrangle businesses and try to change the trajectory of our financial. Financial trauma is real. So some of us come from a place of entrepreneurship just purely out of, I don't want to ever be in a place where I can't do this or that. But legacy is, it's ultimate success when the people that maybe never even met you get to feel the success of what you did, or just get to be grateful. One of our new clients, he is the fourth and his son is the fifth, and the first name, last name, fourth and fifth. And I was like, it's been a long time, especially in a minority family, where I've seen that number, generation wise, where somebody was worthy enough but what did the first guy do to be worthy that the second person got the name? The second person was worthy for the third person to get it. Now we got fourth and a fifth. And I assure you there's going to be a sixth. Just watching how this man operates with his children, the little baby gonna name his son the same thing too. Success is about longevity. It's about lasting. It's about impact. It's about being worth something. So look, dollars, cool. Multiple, but legacy. What are the people saying after you have died? What is your tombstone saying? What are the people saying at your funeral? You know what I'm saying? Are y'all gonna have a GoFundMe, or are you gonna have inheritance that's going out to people?
Right.
No shades because they're necessary, but
Yeah. One of the things I've said too is that, I want my great grandchildren to know my name. Right?
That's right.
This is a real thing. Guys, do you even know the name of your great grandmother? Is that a name that just comes to the top of your head without you calling one of your aunties or your mom or trying to go back in the family album? Like, I want my great grandchildren to say, my great grandmother was Rebecca Lynn Pope. And I want that to mean something to them, because they're getting a check every month from licensing, from media, from my books, for perpetuity, right? That literally forever, you still getting money that where that money has come from the Rebecca Lynn Pope Foundation, that I'm getting money from my trust, from my great grandmother.
Yep.
And, that's, for me, I come from a very large family from Ohio. I come from families who have put everything into trust for their children. They're doing it for their children. So that's where I've been that impression has been put on me to think ahead. Allie asked a question up above. She says, what about the people who don't have children? I would say look at a foundation, or look at setting up everything that you can put it in trust to serve a charity, to serve a cause. You can have it invested, Allie, to where only the return on the investment is invested into the cause, but the principal balance doesn't get tapped into. Right? Because over time now, your foundation, long after you're gone, can be sowing money into causes that mean a lot to you, but it's being managed in order for that investment to keep growing. It doesn't have to just be given away as a lump sum and now it's over. That can be invested in ways that are serving the communities or underserved communities, whatever the causes are closest to your heart.
Right. And even scholarships, if you are a person who doesn't have children and there's no, niece or nephew or close person that you helped to foster while they were growing, that you would leave your fortunes to, scholarships help to, there are so many children out here who have no resources, or they're orphans, or they don't, you know, they're children in the foster care system, scholarship funds will help your name to reverberate and live and live and live. And all these people will go to school in your good name because you left your money in a place where it could make impact for the future. So legacy, you can still have legacy without people being the people, your children or your descendants being the ones to carry it on. You can, there's a lot of people who have, you know, Fannie Lou Hamer money and things like that, because people that make impact and are about impact in our culture, moving it forward, their name still lives, even though they didn't have children to pass that stuff to.
Yeah. One of the things I'll say also, guys, when it comes to defining success, I want to retire. Like, I have a grandbaby now. I'm not old by any stretch of the imagination, but guess what? I don't want to work forever. I mean, especially like at a certain pace. I want to get to the point where I retire in the next 5 to 6 years. And I'm only working maybe 10, 15 hours a week as the visionary over my companies, but I've got enough staff and systems in place. Right. Yeah. Shades of Joy says Oprah. Right. Like, I want to be in my garden. I want to be on my vacations. I want to be, you know, in my beach house. I want to, you know, be spending time with friends and family and lunching and brunching and shopping and, you know, and I'm actually putting in that plan now.
Yeah.
Success for me does not look like killing myself and working myself to death anymore.
Yep.
The pace I worked in my 20s and 30s is not the pace I'm working in my
40s. Nope.
It's just not even doable. It's not even, you start to not even idolize being a workaholic the way I've always been a workaholic, guys, but to come away from even saying, I'm good.
And that's the face of success, being able to scale back. You can say to some people, success is like, look, I'm not working hard in my 50s. I mean, you've put in the hard work, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s are for chilling. That is a face of success. When there are some people working into their 70s because they did not have any plan. So that's a success too. You being able to work in that garden at 50 something and still have revenue, residual income from, like you said, courses, programs, books, all these different things. So think long game, guys. When you're thinking about success, think long game. Do not think about, oh, pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. It's not. Look, think long, think wide, think far beyond the horizon.
Yes, and definitely think about ways to create passive streams of income. One of the things that's really hard for entrepreneurs is retirement. To stop working, to have enough invested to where you don't have to keep working, guys. You got to think, I would rather you think about these things in your 20s and 30s and be prepared than to be 40 something and 50 something and really not even knowing when you can stop working.
Yes. Somebody made a comment earlier, I think it was Tara, where she said that to some people, success is working a corporate job. I want to touch on that too, because we are entrepreneurs and we have the entrepreneurial spirit and have for a very long time, but there is absolutely zero shame in finding success as a corporate person. There's nothing wrong with that. And there are lots of people who are corporate people that are very successful. I mean, just think about C-suite executives. Some of those people are making more than some entrepreneurs. They used to get those bonuses of $50 million when they left the company. So you can definitely define success by finding a high up the ladder corporate position. Or one of my girlfriends, she has a t-shirt line, Vanessa, employee plus entrepreneur. Some people are both. Some people work a job and have entrepreneurial goals on the side that help to fuel their future success or fuel their future retirement. So it can look like entrepreneurship. It can look like having a job. It can look like raising 5 kids that go off to be successful, wonderful people. It can look like dabbling in a bunch of things, but long game. And like Rebecca said, multiple streams of income. You will never be mad at yourself for having 5 checks coming in.
Right. And I think also one of the things that's really awesome about our current society and the way that these things have become so flexible, it's become so real, guys, that you can have your job at Coca-Cola, but then you can have a passion project that's about purpose. that's about something your heart is deeply committed to, helping orphans or working with foster kids, or whatever it is you're driven or passionate about, that can be your side gig. That could be your business. That could be, you could start a charity.
Yeah.
You could do so many different things that are close to your heart. There is no fixed formula for this.
Right.
It's really about whatever it is you truly desire to have.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Mercedes just dropped. I think that was a huge mistake I made when I first started my entrepreneurship journey, quitting my job. I will never do that again until I'm stable. Very, 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 very. A lot of people have felt that regret. It's like that buyer's remorse. You take a leap of faith, because there's the thing. You're thinking, I'm going to roll the dice on myself. I'm going to take a leap of faith. And then you quit your job. Taking a leap of faith on yourself doesn't mean leaving yourself out in the cold either. Now, I jumped off the porch, y'all. I like left and was like figuring it out for 2 years. So that was scary, but I made it through. But if you calculate properly and work your job and put it aside, and you do build stability, Mercedes, that's right. You can build a stable foundation that if it equals 6 months of your mortgage and bills, in the event the entrepreneurship doesn't go as quickly as it doesn't build revenue as quickly as you think, you are still safe. So yeah, smart comment.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very. I think there's also a lot of that across social media, but there's a lot of job shaming. Like, entrepreneurs making people feel bad because they have a job. I worked a corporate career for 15 years before I ever stepped out into full-time, entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
It was about 15 years. No, it was about 10, not 12 years. But yeah, a long time in my corporate career, growing to the point financially, professionally, that I was even ready to run a professional business.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And don't crap on humble beginnings, guys. You got, however you get there is how you get there. That's your journey. But I'll also add this. Being broke as an entrepreneur is a handicap.
It is.
You need money to invest in your business. You need financial stability. I tell all of my coaches, do not step out into full-time entrepreneurship as a coach before you're ready financially, because you're going to be stressed. Guess what? It's hard to get clients. Clients are responding to peace. They're responding to energy. Guess what? You're on a consultation with the potential. Oh yeah, I think you need this $50,000 package. You're pushing, you're pressing, you're selling instead of serving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's energy. It's like, I thought I was supposed to be getting a spiritual life coach so I could have more peace. This doesn't feel very peaceful, right? You don't want to be pressured and pressuring people because you're stressed. That's not a good feeling in business.
And people can smell that desperation and that inauthenticity on you. They know, especially for somebody who's trying to tap into something spiritual. They already have their discernment meter turned all the way up when they're coming. So if they see you doing the shucking and jiving and buy today, the sale is off, it's like, never mind.
Yeah, people want peace, they want results.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely don't think it's wise to put too much pressure on your business to perform. You want to have a certain amount of stability.
Yeah, that's true. So guys, what are some of the other faces of success that we haven't mentioned? Just because I know there are tons and tons and tons of ideas. Whitney just said, being in a relationship when you're dealing with this too. Oh boy. Oh yeah. Facts. That's a whole nother layer. It's a whole
nother layer. I've recently, I would say Carrie and I have gone through a lot of transitions in our entrepreneurship journey as a couple in our marriage. Carrie's business pays all of our day-to-day bills now. Guys, like, that changes our entire partnership. Like, being able to then invest more lump sums of money into other things. It's working out really well. I think that, defining what success looks like for you in business when it comes to your relationships, your marriage, your children. Guys, I'll never forget how many conversations I had to have with my kids when we were in the struggle years. My oldest son remembers it very well, where I'm saying, baby, this is going to pay off. Just please hang on. Hang in. It's going to pay off. And it did, right? It did. But you know, having the right people around you when it comes to a partner, Whitney, it's crucial. It's really crucial. I mean, it is definitely not an easy road. And if someone isn't supportive, they don't, you know, they're not seeing it eye to eye, they're not on the same page, it's really rough.
A lot of people don't understand entrepreneurship, and they think that entrepreneurship to some people equals easy or just like free spirited all over the place. That's not true. Entrepreneurship looks like I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning. In the beginning, especially, I'm up all night. I'm pulling all nighters. I'm literally going off for 3 hours of sleep to make a $1 trillion deal tomorrow. That's always the mindset. Okay, I gotta sleep is for suckers. Okay, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I gotta figure it out. No, that's it. And some people, like my husband and I, we have completely different sleep schedules. I am a night owl. Because I don't even know if I'm used to it, but I think I've always been a night owl. I am a 11 o'clock at night. My stuff is just now starting to turn up. He's a 4 a.m. riser. So for that, you cannot be awake at 2 o'clock in the morning still doing stuff. So I'm learning that sleep is very valuable and that you can get a lot more done in the morning. So he's converting me. It's been a hard sell, but I'm being converted. But just think about it. Entrepreneurship, you have to be with somebody who understands that sometimes if we are in the middle of a dinner and a crisis happens with a client, for me, especially if I have to step away for 10 minutes, it could kill a mood. But if you understand the nature of my business, then you may have a little bit of compassion. So yeah, if you're an entrepreneur and you're dating someone who's not or doesn't understand your industry, that can be that's a whole nother
live, another CEO sister talk. TT Barlow says, does age cause a factor? I'm 36 and transitioning into real estate. Sometimes I feel like I am behind. Is it possible to build the foundation now when it comes to creating financial freedom now? Most definitely.
Yes.
You're just getting started, TT Barrow. I would say that, you know, at 36, you're probably in a really great position of knowledge and wisdom and life experience to be really headed off into some of the most successful years of your life. Like as you get closer to 40, you know, there's just a thing that happens with life experience and wisdom and business development and business experience, all of it, people skills, all of it, that yes, ma'am, this is a great time for you to be starting that business. And you know, the economy shifting, and we know all the stuff that's going on with the housing market, but get in, learn, and get yourself going, get your foundation built. You'll be ready to definitely take advantage of the market, you know, as it moves forward.
Yeah, and 36 is young. Let me tell you something. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. I remember being 33, standing at a radio station. Client was on air, and this old guy, he said he wasn't old, but he was in his 80s, came down, 70s or 80s. He came down and stood next to me. He said, "Is that your client?" And I said, "Yes, sir." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And he said, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 33." And he literally patted me on the back. He said, "Oh, you just a baby." And I'm like, no, I've been married. I've been divorced. I have a child. Like I own a house. I'm not a baby. He's like, "I promise you, you are still a baby." I'm like, "I'm 33. He was not lying when he said life doesn't even really start until you're 40. And he said he would not go back to his 20s or his 30s. He said his 50s is when life literally became what life should be about. So 36 TT, you got it. You spend these years developing yourself. There is no rush. You are not in a race with anybody. And yes, you can start today and be a super happy 55-year-old or 56.
Listen, be sitting on your real estate empire and killing it. Definitely. Allie says, when I was teaching high school, it was getting kids out of gangs, out of prostitution or stripping, and getting them into college or trade program. Seeing their success now, 10 to 15 years later, is amazing.
Yes.
And this has got to be why you define success for yourself, guys, in your business and what you do. It's got to be personal. It can't be what the world says success looks like.
Because I can tell you that those children always have Allie in their story when they're talking about their turnaround, when they're talking about how it changed or how that one person impacted their life. We all have that one person. I know for me, academically, it was my 11th grade English teacher. He was just this one conversation made this huge impact that still lives with me. So Allie, yes, success looks like a 10-year, like I said, long game. 10 or 15 years later, you're seeing what happened, your payoff. So good for you. And I'm glad you pointed that out, because it's not always us. It's other people that we've impacted that make us successful too.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. All right, Clarissa, any last words, any last thoughts as we wrap up?
Well, I just want to encourage everyone on here to literally sit down tonight, take some time and really think about what your success means to you. Not what mama said, not what granddaddy did, not what the kids are telling you they wish you had or wish they had. Look at what success means for you, not just business success, but life success. As a man, as a woman, as a mother, think about what those things mean and really just write them out. And remind yourself to check on those goals every 3, 6, 9 months, a year. Just check on it because success does change. We are happy to have you here for our weekly chat. Please, if you have not already, sign up for our newsletter. The link is in both of our bios. That newsletter has valuable, impactful information and all these nuggets that we drop. We try to reiterate them there as well. And yeah, I'm happy to have you all here, and we're happy to see how this platform is progressing for all of us.
Amen. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited with the direction for CEO, Sister Society, and Clarissa's endeavor. I'm excited about each of our businesses as well. The enrollment for spring enrollment to become a certified abundant life coach, we're the #1 certification for spiritual life coaches around the world. That is open now. We haven't announced it via email, but you can go to the link in my bio and actually sign up to book a call with one of our enrollment advisors. Somebody says, how can I schedule a coaching call with you too, Clarissa? If you have something.
Yes.
I don't have to say that.
Yes. Let me see. No Saint Jewelry. Nice to meet you. So you can, if you travel over to the link in my bio, you can click, just drop a DM on my side and one of our assistants will get back with you. We can get that set up.
So yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff coming up, but keep an eye out. If you're wanting to become a certified abundant life coach, click the link in my bio to get more information for that. Clarissa did not plug her courses. She's got PR courses over at the link in her bio as well that are available to purchase, that you can get going with your PR journey and growing your business on that side. And then we'll just have more announcements coming up for CEO Sister Societies. We plan like our first boot camp or courses or workshops or whatever we're going to launch. You'll get that inside of the newsletter as well.
Yes, and happy birthday, Shades of Joy. She said it was nice spending her birthday with us. So
happy birthday, beautiful. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
All
happy
right.
birthday.
In abundance. So we'll see you next Tuesday. The replay will be up over on YouTube as well. Let us know if you have any questions. You can always inbox us and one of our team members will get back to you. Rebecca, do you have any course creator courses? I don't, but I've been promising one for a long time. I need to release one to teach you guys how to make courses. I will think about it, Whitney, and let you guys know. All right. Blessings and abundance, guys. Talk to you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.